Hello, hello, testing, testing. If you could, let me know if I'm live. Am I live? Let me know if I'm live. You can comment down below. It says like 9 seconds, but I can't really tell. Am I live right now? Hopefully I'm live. Hopefully you guys can see this. Now, my name is Bryce Tubbs. Welcome to today's training that we're hosting inside of our community for accountants and bookkeepers. Now, this training is going to show how to get 3 cleanups and $2,000 in monthly recurring revenue in the next 30 days, just like my mentorship student did. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit in a lot of detail today, so hopefully you guys are going to be with me the full time. Now, just a couple housewarming things. Number one, if you're watching this thing live, go and please comment #TeamLive if you're watching it live, so I know I can make it a little bit more interactive than if no one's watching it live. Number two, if you're watching this on the replay, write in #TeamReplay so I know as well. Then also, if you want some help, if you want me to connect with you to answer some questions you might have, or if you want some help growing your business to the 6-figure level exponentially faster than what you're going to do on your own, right? #connect. I'll be sure to reach out to you as well and answer some questions, see how I can help you out. Also, please invite your friends to join this community. This is going to be very, very helpful for them. Every single week we're giving away tips, training, resources, and tools to make sure they can go and grow their business. So if it's someone you care about, you might want to go and share this with them. Now also, inside this video, I'm going to be asking you guys to, comment. The reason why I'm doing that is because Facebook generally does not show your posts, your videos to the full audience. But every single time that somebody does an engagement, like they leave a like, they comment, they share, it shows it to more people. So in order for the entire group to be able to see this, we do need your help to be able to like, share, and comment when I ask for you guys to comment. So hopefully everything is great. Hello, Candace. Hopefully you're doing great. Great to see you today. Now, let's jump into this thing. My name is Bryce Tubbs. For me, when I was growing my accounting firm, it was tremendously challenging. When I first got started, I quit my job cold turkey because I just assumed that growing your business would be amazingly easy. I would go and become a, decamillionaire overnight, but things did not work out that way. So for me, I ended up having to go and really learn this stuff step by step, very sequentially, in order for my firm to be at the place where it is today. And now I show and help other people how to do that as well. Now, how to go and do this, guys? So we're in the time of year when referrals are extremely important. Okay, whenever you're coming up to either holidays, or whenever you're coming up to the end of quarters, very, very important for you to start pushing in and start digging into referral partnerships. So number one, let's talk about referral paths, okay? So there's a couple of different types of referrals. There's professional referrals, there's personal referrals, and the sources of these referrals. Now, again, the time of year is very key. Whenever getting towards the end of a quarter, I would go more after professional sources of referrals. Now, an example of this is networking events, business networking events, insurance agents, financial advisors, lawyers. These are 4 main sources that are very easy for you to start getting leverage and to start getting clients. Now, a lot of people are always thinking, just go after CPAs, and they'll just give you a bunch of clients, which, can work in some cases. But CPAs are generally super bombarded with everybody asking them for referrals. So they're getting asked by financial advisors, bookkeepers, insurance. Everybody goes to CPAs first. So it's very, very hard for you to kind of cut through that noise. Oftentimes what happens is you're going to be going to them, either stopping in their office, calling them on the phone. They're just going to give you the cold shoulder, be very dismissive of you. So in order to prevent that, you need to start going elsewhere. You need to start going after places that are not as saturated when it comes to referral partnerships. Now, keep in mind with referral partnerships, you need to dig your well before you need to drink the water. Okay? Some referral partnerships can take up to 6 months for the person to actually respond and start getting you leads. So if you wait until, maybe you're at your breaking point, you're running low on money, you're running low on patience, it's probably not going to be the best thing for you. So make sure you do it at the beginning of your journey where you're trying to go and build these referral relationships. Now, that's on the professional side. On the personal side, these are really, really easy referrals as well. Oftentimes, learning how to get friends and family to start becoming your own personal referral network and referral just source. Okay, this is oftentimes the harder one to do because a lot of people are afraid of coming across like they're doing like multi-level marketing or that they are going to be super annoying with their relatives. So what you guys have to start learning how to do is how to start priming them, just telling them what you're doing, telling them exactly how you can start helping out their friend and exactly what a great quality lead looks like. So that once you start actually getting people going and once you start getting those leads and those referrals, you're not just getting a bunch of trash referrals. This generally tends to happen with friends and family is that if you don't prime them and tell them exactly who you're looking for, it's very, very hard for them to send the right people to you. Hello, Dano. Hello, Dano. Hello, Candace. Thanks so much for coming. For those who are live right now, thank you so much for coming. Now, what we're talking about is just how to go and get 3 cleanups and $2,000 in monthly recurring revenue in the next 30 days. Number one, what we're talking about is referrals, okay? So we're talking about the difference between professional sources and personal referrals. Now, how to go, let's even circle back to the professional sources. How to get people to actually give you the time of day. Number one is you need to take an interest in their life. So social media and Facebook in general is one of the easiest ways for you to go and build referral partnerships because you can see into people's lives. You can see that their son or daughter just won the state championship. You can see that they're in swimming classes. You can see that they are in groups for bike riding. You can see what their interest is. You can see what their likes are, and you can start the conversation like that. And when you can start coming at them more on the personal side, it makes it very easy for you to transition towards, hey, I know you run this business. I run this business too. Do you want to maybe talk about referring people to each other? It's such a simple conversation because if the person already likes you, it's so much easier for them to be like, yeah, let's do it. If you guys understand the power of referrals and what the difference between a personal referral source and a professional referral source is, please write a 1 inside of the chat below. If not, please let me know if you have any more questions about it, and I can actually explain a little bit more in detail since I know we have a number of people watching this thing live. But if this was clear enough for you, go and write down a 1, and I'll be sure to move on in about 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Okay, let me see. I'm seeing some 1s inside the chat. If any other people have questions, maybe you can come to me afterwards or keep posting them inside the chat below. Candace says 1. Awesome. Next thing, we have to start and we have to talk about really learning how to be more relational when it comes to getting clients. Hello, Vernestine. Nice to see you. Vernestine says a 1 inside the chat. Okay, a lot of people when they're first starting out, they try and go directly after the end clients. In my opinion, it's easier if you go after referral partnerships first because then they can start sending you. And it's a little bit of an easier sale in a lot of cases because you have that trust built up and generally you have more urgency. Now, if you're going directly to the client, it's a little bit more challenging. And the reason why is because most business owners do not understand the costs and the value that is associated with your service. I hear this all the time too, because a lot of people when they're first starting out, there are give me 1 second. My poor video quality. Let me close out some tabs. How's my video going? Can you guys see everything really clearly? Or am I freezing up? I just got a notification from Facebook saying to do something. But awesome. All right, cool. So it looks like it's starting to go a little bit faster. Okay, cool. Awesome. Now, what I'm talking about was we have to make sure that we can start really communicating the value. Now, a lot of people watching are probably saying, Bryce, no one wants to pay me more than $500 a month. And it's not that they won't pay you $500 a month. It's just if they don't have the things we're going to be talking about in a second, they're less inclined to pay you more than $500 a month. They're going to pay it to somebody. It's just whether or not it's going to be you. And here's how we can start changing, okay? For example, and just to put this in perspective, some people say that even people running like a 7-figure business are not going to pay them more than $500 a month. To put that in perspective, I own a multiple 6-figure business. I actually own 2 multiple 6-figure businesses. And I pay a woman between $800 to $1,000 a month, literally to hit publish and to export my Google Calendar onto a spreadsheet. The service you're offering is a lot more valuable, so people are going to be willing to pay you that. You just have to believe that it is, and you have to start implementing these things. So your job is to educate people during your consultation and even before your consultation, so they come on pretty warm and they're already ready to go and they're ready to sign up with you. Now, in order to educate them, you need to know how they see the world and how they view your service in order for you to know what questions and like how to move them forward in your presentation. Okay, if you're giving the same presentation, or even if you're just winging the presentation without really knowing how they feel about the service, what their viewpoint is, what their budget is, what their view on their budget is, how flexible it is, are they price elastic or are they price inelastic? It's going to make it very hard for you to be able to sway them later on in the call. So in order to do this and to see what their actual viewpoint is and how likely they are going to be to spend a higher dollar amount, you need to start asking better questions. And the questions need to be in regards to their belief systems. Hello, Rane. Rane, I don't know exactly if I'm saying that. Sorry if I just messed that up. Miss McGraw, great to see you. Great to see you. Now, when we're talking about their beliefs, there's generally 7 major beliefs that someone has to understand and believe in order for them to make the buying decision with you and to be very comfortable about that decision, okay? 1, do they have pain? 2, what is the impact of not moving or not working with you? 3, do they doubt they can do it on themselves? 4, what is the cost of not fixing this? 5, what are some solutions that they've tried? And then 6, what is their financial situation / financial goals look like? Okay, as long as you can. Also, number 7, what is their support system? Do they have to speak to their spouse to make a decision? Do they have to speak to their dog to make a decision? Do they have to speak to their business partner? Do they have to speak to their board of directors? What does that look like? You need to know all these beliefs in order to make sure that at the end of the call, you know exactly what to expect and exactly what their clarifying questions are going to be versus what their objections are going to be. Now, the difference between that is if you've done your consultation correctly, generally at the end of the call, it's more about clarifying questions where they're asking how they can move forward or they're trying to figure out like what they can do in order to make this thing work. If it's an objection or a smokescreen, it's more like they're telling you reasons why now is not a good time or why they are not going to move forward. Now, if you've done this questioning in the beginning, you're going to know which one is which. For example, if you ask them earlier in the call about, do you have to go talk to your business partner? And they say, no, I don't even have a business partner. But at the end of the call, all of a sudden there's like this random business partner that gave them $1 into their business 10 years ago they have to consult with before they can move forward with you. You know it's probably an objection, and you have to handle an objection. So that's why it's so important. Now, one thing that's really important, I'm just kind of looking at my notes because I wrote a lot of notes. I always give my students inside the private mentorship program, I give them a belief tracking note sheet. It basically looks like this, where you can track exactly what you're going through and exactly what questions you need to ask in order to know where you need to take the person in order for them to feel confident and clear about signing up with you. Now, if you want me to send this to you and send you actually a file that contains the drawing so you can just print this out the next time you have a consultation, go ahead and write belief sheet down in the comments. I'll be sure to send it to you. Belief sheet. Belief sheet. Okay, this alone makes closing your calls and getting people to sign up so much easier because you know exactly what is their objections, what are their beliefs, what are they going to say before they start saying it. And then you start getting things at the end of the call like, wow, you read my mind. And it's not that you read their mind, it's just the fact that you already asked them about it and they told you exactly how they think, so now you can move and you can start acting in alignment with how they naturally view the world. And then it's all of a sudden like, wow, you just really get me. Wow, you really understand me. And then they start wanting to move forward. And this is what we talked about earlier, where it's like, it's not that they won't pay you $500 a month. It's just in a lot of cases, they don't really understand your value. And the fact that you can know somebody better than what they know themselves is value. and they start seeing you a little bit differently. And rather than just being like this, person they want to pay like $15, $20 an hour, now you become this indispensable like advisor that just knows everything about business. And it's not that you did anything different, it's just the fact that you listened harder. Now, awesome. So that's the next thing. Next thing is you need to start learning. Actually, before we move forward, do you guys understand the power of sales and the power of asking the right questions? If you do, put down a 2 in the chat below. Put down a 2 in the chat below. Also, if I'm speaking really, really fast and you want me to slow down a little bit, let me know that as well. You can just write slow down inside of the chat, and I'll be sure to slow down. I'm just kind of racing the clock because I have a lot of information left to cover. But I generally like to keep the videos under about 25 minutes in duration, because anything over that, Facebook starts really limiting the amount of people that see it, because they believe that most people have shorter attention spans. So, okay, so Candace wrote a 2. Candace understands the power of sales. Bernstein says slow down a little bit. Okay, let me take a little deep breath. So now let me ask you, so are you guys ready to move on to the next step, or is there a specific question about that maybe I can answer, especially if you commented slow down? Let me know inside the comments so I can either slow down and like go back to the previous step, or I can move forward to the next one, depending on what you guys want, who's watching this thing live. Now, I'll give you about 20 seconds, and I'll move forward. Okay, I'm seeing some 2s inside the chat, so I'm thinking about moving forward. So the next thing is, you guys need to start learning about what attracts business owners using Instagram, your Facebook business page. If you want, you can use LinkedIn, even your Facebook personal page. Now, a lot of people, what happens is that they think that they're going to make a number of posts, and then people are going to just move forward, and they're going to do stuff, and they're going to take a bunch of actions. Now, in some cases, this is true, but an even more powerful way to utilize content is for the content to create conversations. Just like we talked about earlier in this video, whenever you get someone to like, comment, or share your post, Facebook and the different social media actually spread it out to more people who are just like them. So your job needs to be about how to make your content get people to comment, get it to share, get it to like it. And then once that happens, you can actually use that content to open the door for new conversations. So, for example, I had a student inside of the mentorship program. And what we were doing was we were looking at her Instagram, because certain students inside of my program like to use Instagram instead of LinkedIn or Facebook. It's just really dependent on what you want to do. So we were kind of looking at it, and the way that we were tweaking her Instagram was to add in a little bit more of her personality and a little bit more personal life into her business content. Now, the reason why we're doing it like that is because of connection and trust. So you'd be so surprised how many deals you would lose because the person feels like they can't trust you, because they just don't know anything about you outside of you posting on Instagram about your business. I've done it where a student needed a reference for one of the clients that they were trying to take on, and the first thing they said was, yeah, it's so hard for me to gauge whether this person's trusted or reputable using the internet. And the reason why is because that person was just business. And there was no area for connection. There was nothing of her personal life. There was nothing of her wins, nothing of her losses, of her trials, of her pets, of her family, of herself, maybe going bowling. There was nothing like that. So you have to start mixing that in, because then people start seeing you more as a regular person rather than just as a business transaction. Because whenever someone is dealing with a transaction, they're trying to get the lowest price possible. They're trying to get the discounts. When they're dealing with a person, they don't mind paying because they see people as valuable and as stuff you have to take care of. That's the difference. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go and like just take family portraits and everything has to be about your children and your home address. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you need to learn how to strategically add in places where you're a real person. For example, sometimes I'll post like a picture of like my food, right? And the reason why I do that is not because I'm just randomly posting. It's because I'm trying to build comfort and familiarity with the people who are seeing that post. It's the same thing for you guys. It doesn't change. It's the same thing I use in my accounting firm. It's the same thing I use for my coaching business. So you have to start thinking about that. Where is a place that I can actually start, connecting with people, building that trust, and hoping them um, see more into you. Hey Pierre, oh I just saw your message that you want more info and you need to jump. Okay, awesome. I'll talk to you in a minute, Pierre, and I'll see you and I'll connect with you in a few. Now, this is going to be super, super important. Now, if you guys have been running Instagram and you don't really know exactly what to do and what to post, and how to utilize that platform, I actually did an audit with one of my newest students yesterday, how you can explode and how you can really start getting more consultations and more clients from Instagram. So if you want me to send that video to you, it's a behind the scenes and it just happened yesterday. Comment Instagram, comment Insta, and I'll send it to you afterwards. Insta. I haven't even told her I'm going to do this, so take advantage of it while it's still available, because it might not be for much longer depending on when she sees this. Now, the final thing that we're going to talk about before we get finished, we'll save that for next time. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video today. Hopefully you had fun, you learned something new. If you can, inside the comments, maybe after or maybe afterwards, send me a message about what you took away from this video and what you learned today, so that maybe I can either give you more resources or we can even talk a little bit further. Now, once again, if you want some help growing your business, you don't want to go and take 6 months to 2 years in order to get to $5,000 a month. You want to instead take the shorter path, the more direct path to building a six-figure business without all the stress, confusion, and disarray that most people go through. Write #connect. I'll be sure to reach out to you with some more information on how I can help you out, maybe give you some tips, ask some questions, and make sure that you're moving forward. If that's you, write #connect. I'll be sure to talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon.